simulation lab has started.
Welcome to Driving Immersion. This is the immersive racing experience. Studio 397's Le Mans Ultimate is the best detailed simulation of the World Endurance Championship. We are racing in Le Mans Ultimate using as much of its simulation factors to be as close to endurance racing as possible. We drive from the cockpit using a Fanatec CSL DD Plus wheel and load cell pedal set, without any assist except for what exists in the car. There are collisions and damage, tire wear and fuel use, including virtual energy. Give us a like and click on subscribe now so that you don't miss out on any of it. Volume up and let's go. We start a new race series at the 6 Hours of Imola in the Endurance Championship. Our chosen race car for this race is the Lexus RCF GT3. And you can see here as we approach the start-finish line, it is raining here in Imola. We start the race here in 5th place as we approach the start-finish line. That is the pit entry to the right. And here is the field of the GT3s.
Green flag.
There is the green flag, and we are go. Now the GT3 cars here have anti-lock brakes and traction control, which are going to aid us quite a lot here in the heavy rain. A lot of spray here right now from the tires. There is the McLaren getting ahead of us in the Lexus. There's a good look at our car, the number 87. A lot of jostling around here as we fight for a slice of the track. Again, you can see there's a lot of tire spray, so a very wet track here to start with. We do expect the rain to slow down just a little bit, but the weather forecast shows that it will be a rainy race.
Let's get the tires up to temperature. Let the track clear just a little bit before we start really attacking here. Oh, got hit in the back.
After this race, we do have damage turned on.
Damage.
So that is something that we're going to have to be watching out for as we circle the track here for the next 6 hours.
Got hit again.
Now, bent fenders are something that you can expect here in the GT3 class. The cars are very closely matched, so there's going to be, again, a lot of jostling on the track.
On this BMW. Oh, we're going for a spin. Maybe we've got a lot of damage.
Couldn't quite tell there if the number 87 got hit in the back. And we'll get a look here in the cockpit to see if there is any damage on the car.
Can't tell.
Yellow flag as we approach the chicane.
Mercedes spun.
And it is turn 14 and 15. Very quick right and left. Very high sausage curb to the right of 14 and to the left of 15. Approaching 16 and turn 17 and turn 18 here. Another car off the track. You can see the Aston Martin returning back to the tarmac.
These cars going very slow here.
That time was a 2:35.07.
There is the first lap here at Imola.
Gotta be careful not to brake too soon, otherwise you'll get struck in the rear. I believe that is one of the McLarens. This portion trying to warm up his tires. Now we're going to try to obey their rules the best we can. That was a local yellow, and we could have passed this Porsche in front of us, but we didn't. So we'll try to follow that for the race. There are no penalties yet, except if you do that. But in real life, you would just not pass under yellow. So we're just going to stay in the train here until the tires are up to temps. is rain forecast for most of the race. It should slow down just a little bit. More spins here.
Oh, we've got a bottleneck here in 14 and 15 at the main chicane. And we are just looking for a way to get through, trying not to damage the car. Multiple cars stopped on the track. And again, for the start of this race, as it is very wet, we're just going to have to try to do our best to keep the car on the track and away from damage.
Following everybody into the turn. Getting to be a little bit of a smash-up derby. We gotta start clearing cars and make our way to the front.
So the number 87 has gotten past the Porsche, and that is an Aston Martin that we just passed, and he's going to send us into a spin. This is at 2 and 3, and then this is turn 4 right here to the left.
Still a long race, so we'll try to make something out of it.
So yes, again, a very long race, 6 hours here at Imola, so this start that is pushing us further back with all these slides and spins. Still a lot of racing to do and still unpredictable at this point. On board with the Mustang, looking at the number 87. Getting past. So this is turn 9 here to the left, and we do reduce our speed all the way down to second gear. Turn 10, very slight left. A little bit downhill, and then to the right to turn 11. Turn 12 here, very sharp to the right, and then slightly left into 13. We're going to go uphill into the main chicane again, 14 and 15. Yellow flag showing here.
More spins here. Still very slippery. We just gotta keep the car together. We've been struck in the back a couple of times already.
Here we are back up to the Porsche after all of the melee. A little bit off track for him. Very big hit from the back.
Oh my God.
And we are sideways. And you can see a couple of other cars parked there. A Porsche and another hit.
Another big hit.
This one's going to hurt, obviously.
Some damage for sure now.
And we are waiting in the cockpit to see damage.
Damage to the suspension. We are coming in.
There is damage on the right front suspension. Obviously damage in the front and rear bumpers. And yes, I believe the number 85 Porsche right here was part of the accident that we had, and right now we are still riding with him. So we carry on here in the rain at Imola. We are going to come in at the end of this lap. Definite damage to the car. Can't quite see the steering wheel. See if it's actually askew. No ability to turn right here into the double right. Coming into 14 and 15, the chicane, and we are definitely
No
going to
mayhem
take
here
it
at the
easy.
chicane this time around. Hopefully when we come out, we'll have a clear
Down
track.
through
We can make
18.
up some time.
Another left into 19.
And, again, there is damage to the right front. The steering wheel is askew.
So here we are coming into pit lane. You can see it's still raining very hard. A lot of water still on track. But this
Very
time
askew.
around, the number 87 is in for damage repair.
Just damage and fuel.
So a relatively quick pit stop, 49 seconds to take care of
Don't know what
damage.
EPS IQ is on. What that is. If you know, comment below.
Yes, there is a indicator on the steering wheel, EPS IQ. And we are wondering what that means.
49 seconds in this pit stop just to fix damage.
It does not exist in any of the other
Most believe
cars.
they're going to give us a little bit of splash of fuel to make up for what we've used up already. So we can remain on a strategy. We're going to keep the tires on.
So if you know what EPS
We are in gear
IQ
On the
on
ground.
means, let us know.
and rolling.
The number 87 exiting out of pit lane. Again, it continues to rain. So coming into two and 3, the car should be in one piece. And let's just hope that we can now put in some good consistent laps. The track has cleared a little bit in front of us here as the field has gotten scattered over the last couple of laps.
Very slowly through the hairpin here.
That is one of the BMW GT3s ahead of us. Not racing with him, we are racing with the Aston Martin number 10 just ahead. And he is about 15 seconds away. Trying to get by the number 46 BMW. There is a yellow in the chicane. And we did make the pass before we entered the chicane, so we should be okay with that pass.
Not enough braking.
Very wide into turn 18.
Wow,
That
what's
is going to
Why
lose
did I
some
the
time.
back end?
Perhaps just
know what that
accelerating
was all
a little
about.
bit too hard.
Is there debris? Perhaps in the tires?
And that is going to cost
That
us
was
time.
just too easy.
You can see the clear track ahead of the number 87 as we continue to round the track. Again, it is obviously raining. The leaderboard on display, hardly functional. It does show the tire compound, obviously, and the time between the cars. The virtual energy that is indicated there does not work, so don't pay attention to that. It will indicate which cars are in the pits, which is a positive thing or a good thing. However, we wish that it would show the race time that is on top of the display. And so we hope that is something that Studio 397 can attend to sometime soon. Out of the chicane, 16 and 17. The rain does look glorious here at Imola and is making for a fantastic race. Everything's still up in the air with a lot of time.
Still very unpredictable. Oh.
A little bit of early braking there from the Aston Martin, and the 87 runs into the back of him. That is going to damage our front bumper once again, and we just had that fixed a couple of laps ago.
Oh. That was almost a spin. Basically had to stop the car. So right now we are lapping at the same speed that the leaders are lapping, so that's good news. Here comes a Toyota.
breeze by as we are trailing one of the BMWs here into 16, 17, and now 18. We go wide, again trailing the BMW.
Lap 2:04.79.
Fastest lap.
So that lap was a 2:04, a big difference from the 2:07 that we achieved just the lap before. And once again, we are trailing one of the BMW GT3s here, and he is basically showing us where on the track we should be. Now, so far throughout the race, we've seen a lot of puddles around the track, as we see here on the inside. They don't affect the car's performance too much. You kind of feel them just a little bit
Back
on the
end
steering
slowest to
wheel.
come around. Here comes a hypercar. That is the other Toyota.
But again, they don't have very much effect on the car's drivability and performance. There is the number 7 Toyota with the 2025 paint job out of Le Mans. In through 12 and 13. Short climb up to 14 and 15, the very sharp chicane here, and right now,
Nope. Not enough
Mars
brake.
Medina is not going to make that turn. We continue on downhill. This is 17 to the left. 18. And there is a turn 19 just after the entrance here to the pits. A very wide right here as we approach the start finish line. The number 87 Lexus currently in 11th place in the GT3 class. Very treacherous conditions on the track right now with the rain. There are the puddles. Again, not much effect on the car's performance and behavior. You do feel them a little bit in the steering wheel. That was 5 and 6, and down into 7. And 7 here is very much like a hairpin as we climb up. Again, slightly to the right, that will be turn 8. So a clear track right now for the number 87. You can see there on the LED plate on the side of the cars this year, indicating the placement in the race. And right now, again, the number
Still a lot
87
of understeer.
in 11th place.
And that won't really go away until the rain stops.
And this time around, Mars Medina is going to make it through the chicane at
why are we
14 and
going
15.
around?
Spoke too soon. The back end very heavy.
So almost lost the back end. So the physics here is actually very detailed. Very much like a normal road-going car. When you lose the back end, there will be the pendulum effect, where the weight will shift back and forth until it's absorbed by the suspension.
Lap 2:07.84.
So a slow lap for the number 87. Again, the rain continues to fall. A lot of tire spray from the cars circling the track. Quick look at the Ferrari. There is the number 51 Ferrari, and we can't quite see the number or indicator plate on the side. I believe he is in second place. And there you can see in the puddles the raindrops continuing to fall. So no let up in the rain.
Got struck by, I believe that was the Ferrari, and it looks like he spun. And now we have a couple of hypercars coming up behind us.
Yes, a quick look in the rear view mirror, we saw the number 51 Ferrari going around in turn 18. He did strike the 87 in the back, and it resulted in his spin. There is another Ferrari off in the gravel, and that should be the number 50. Getting back on track, and in the brief course of a few turns, we got passed by a couple of the hypercars, one of them being that Penske Porsche just ahead of us. Stunning graphics here in Le Mans Ultimate in the rain. And so far as this is the first stint, the game engine is running pretty well. That is the 51 coming around after he spin. He's back up to the 87, and this time we're just going to let him by. And this is virtually in the same place on the track that he did strike the 87 and spun around. There is the very high curbs of 14 and 15. Down through 17 here to the left. Oh, a big slide there from one of the Penske Porsches, striking the 87 in the rear. Looks like he was way out of control
again
as he struck the Lexus.
One of the hypercars. Damage in the rear.
So Medina able to keep the car on track after a big hit from one of the Porsches. Couldn't quite tell who that was. And we are going to continue racing here. A look from above as the 87 comes in through 5 and 6. That is the number 5 Penske Porsche. This is turn 7, and we are going to leave the inside very wide for these two hypercars to pass.
Go around.
There we are. Coming in through 14 and 15 again. There are the hypercars that just passed. Just a note, when the race is loading, there's actually there's a car spun in the background. And that is the Porsche once again. I think that is the number 5 going around. So back to what I was saying, when the game is loading, there is a note displayed on the screen that indicates what you should do when the cars are coming around and you are given the blue flag, and that is to just maintain your line and maintain your race, and they will find their way around. And that is exactly what we did with the 2 hypercars that had recently passed. Here is 2 and 3. And then 4. And that complex is the Variante Tamburello. If you didn't know, that was the site of Ayrton Senna's fatal crash back in 1994. Here we are. We should have the blue flag indicated for us now as another couple of hypercars are coming by. And we're going to remain on our line. They're going to find their way around. Got a good look at a Puegeot coming around as well. There he is. And you can see here that they definitely have a speed advantage. This is 12 and 13. We are going to stay to our line, and he is going to find his way around. And while we were letting him through, the BMW caught back up.
Lead lap. I believe that's a Mustang. No BMW.
And you can see there on the number plate that this BMW is in first place. We were given the blue flag to let him through, and we did. A little off-road excursion between 17 and 18, and he is coming into the pits.
He came into the pits instead. This lap, a very slow lap.
14.66.
Here is one of the Corvettes, obviously just out of the pits. A big hit in the back to the number 87, and we are going around. It's another one of the Ferraris.
One of the hypercars.
Get the car straightened back out here. There is another car coming, we saw briefly. There they are.
That's our teammate there.
A little bit of a struggle for the 87 to accelerate out of 7, and you can see there that the 2 GT3s up ahead made up a lot of space. The number 8 Toyota coming around. They're crowded now on track. We have a very good run on the other Lexus, and we are going to look at him inside of 14 and 15, and he's going to let us by.
The other Lexus.
There he is.
13% virtual energy left.
a lot of time here getting the car straightened back out. And believe it or not, that should be a little bit more common coming out of 18, as it is a very slow corner and we are trying to accelerate as fast and as soon as we can to get onto this long straight through the start finish line and the pit straight. That time didn't quite work out, but that is actually the first time that we had spun out coming out of 18. So not too bad right now. Did lose a lot of time on that spin. And here from up above you can see more of the puddles forming on the side of the track. We do expect the weather to dry out just a little bit.
I keep losing the back end. There's so
Closer
much
to
damage in the rear.
middle of the race, there is damage to the front left. And you can see there the little chevron which indicates suspension damage. Could be anything from the shocks to the A-arms to possibly a ball joint, anything in the suspension. Not very specific, but right now the car should be behaving differently, at least to a small degree. There we are, not able to turn into 12. Now we did come in very early into the race to make major repairs after a very bad start for the number 87. Right now we've got minor damage to the front and rear indicated in yellow there on the graphics to the lower right of your screen. Again, the yellow chevron indicating damage to the front left suspension. And we are trying to evaluate here
Very deep here.
if we can continue on with this car. Hear the gravel flicking off of the tires as we get back on the tarmac.
Lap 2:09.17.
So we're averaging about 3% of virtual energy per lap. And we should come in, or plan to come in the next couple of laps or so.
So as we come in through 5 and 6, the car is not behaving too poorly. We are due to come in sometime soon, probably within the next 3 or 4 laps. So we are going to try to stick it out again. We are going to continue on to evaluate the car's condition with the damage in the suspension system.
Damage on our right front, left front.
There's the Ferrari once again, and we are going to just stay out of the way. He is wide into
Ferrari's
14
on.
and 15. He is in the gravel on the apron. He's back on track. And he had survived that one. Now the approach to 17 here is a little bit downhill, so you do have to be careful with the braking, especially made worse by the rain.
Nope, lap 19.
That time was a 2:04.79.
There we are, coming in at the end of this lap.
So there is the call from the pit lane. So we will be coming in at the end of this lap. We are either low on virtual energy or it's time to refuel.
tires are still in very good shape, so we'll just keep those on. We will fix some damage, get some virtual energy. And be back on the track. Right now we've got a clear track ahead of us, so that's only a positive thing.
So right now we are showing 1.3 gallons of fuel left and 8% virtual energy. And that's going to be enough to get back around to the pits this time around. So we just keep the car on track and keep making time. A very eventful first stint here in the rain. Hopefully the rain will slow down pretty soon. Approaching 14 and 15 here. And you can see just how high those sausage curves are. Again, in the puddle you can see the raindrops falling. So still pretty good and consistent rain here at the end of the first stint.
Okay, track is actually starting to feel good.
Entering into pit lane to the right here, we are going to hit the pit speed limiter. There is the line. We need to be at 60 kilometers per hour or 37 miles per hour, indicated there on the dash.
So there are a few cars planned to come in.
There we are into our pit box. And that is going to do it for the first stint. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, don't forget to give us a like and click on subscribe for the remaining segments of this race at the Imola circuit. It really helps to get our races out to other race fans like you. Check out the other races, including the full 24 hours of Le Mans in Le Mans Ultimate. There's also a full season of the Formula One career at Driving Immersion. We'll see you next time.